What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Quote of the day: the older I get, the more I realize that one of Satan's biggest weapons is to make you think you are alone. Ben S. Song of the day: X Gonna Give It To You by DMX. I love fellowship. I love group therapy. I love when you can vent to someone and have them vent back to you, and you both can leave the conversation more powerful, more aware, more knowledgeable, and with more energy, knowing that you're not alone in your circumstances. I do hark on people who complain a lot and they don't have a solution. I do hark on people who want to complain about a situation and they don't want to change it. But I will never be the one who says venting isn't necessary. You have to get that stuff out. You have to talk to someone about it. Emotions bottled up, even like happiness, you have to be able to tell someone about your happiness because it can eat you alive. You have to be able to share that with someone and then be genuinely happy that you're happy. What I'm getting at is this quote came to me from a mentor and a friend when really yesterday I was having a rough day. It was a struggle. I'm not even gonna lie to even say that it was just a struggle. I failed at a few things. There was a few things that came my way and I did not perform, execute, or react the way I should have. I wanted to respond, but I didn't respond. I reacted. And that's something that I need to work on. That's something that I'm very transparent about. I'm human. I make mistakes. And sometimes I get in my feelings when people say or do certain things, especially when it comes to disrespect. I feel a certain type of way. So there was a situation that happened and I didn't feel right about it. And I reacted in a certain way. And later on, I had to go back and rectify it because I reacted in a way that I shouldn't have. At the end of the day, I was talking to my mentor, and before I could even say anything, he just shook his head and said, "Boy, what a rough day." And I laughed, and he just smiled from ear to ear and I told him, I said, "You don't know how much I needed to hear that someone else was having a rough day too, that someone else was failing too, that someone else was missing the mark too." And it's not because misery loves company, but it's just because I needed to hear that someone that I consider better than me was struggling as well. That they also had these moments where they could do better, where they needed to do better, where the universe was testing them for what they wanted. I needed to hear that to know that that still happens even when you get to that great of a level. And I do consider this man a great man, right? A great man of God. And he told me, he said, the older I get, the more I realize that one of Satan's biggest weapons is to make you think you're alone. And I just said, man, that's powerful, because I truly did feel like, I was being singled out. I truly did feel like I was the one that was being chosen for failure. And it's something that I've said before. It's something that I've talked about and made videos of, and it's something I will talk about in the future. But when you're in that moment, you have to remember what you're saying, because at that time I didn't. You have to remember your principles. This is why you have to work on your character for moments like that, for when you're weak, so that when it comes time to make a decision, it's not even a decision. It's something that's just going to be a part of your character because you've worked on it so well. But back to what I'm saying about being alone. The enemy will make you think that your circumstance is unique just to you. No one else on the planet has ever dealt with this before. That's what the enemy will make you think. No one else in the universe has to deal with the pressure you have to deal with. That's what the enemy will make you think. So once you think you're unique in your experience, you get to taking desperate actions. Well, it's okay if I cheat on my spouse because no one else has had to deal with a spouse like mine before. Well, it's okay for me to turn to substance abuse because no one else has had to deal with this type of depression before. Well, it's okay if I hurt someone else because no one else has been hurt like I have been. And it's false. Not only have people dealt with the pain that you have dealt with, that you're dealing with, people have done what worse and still remained and kept intact their integrity. They still are people of integrity. They still are people of honor and valor. So that is not a justified excuse. And more than anybody else, I'm talking to myself. That is not a justified excuse for you stepping out of your character, for you stepping out of your personality, for you deciding to go down this road of darkness or despair or destruction or hurt. That is not a valid excuse. That might be the reason you chose, but you don't get to say that this justifies it, because it doesn't. You still, no matter what's happening to you, have to remain a person of integrity, a person of honor. That's what they want. That's what the enemy wants. He wants you to get off your throne and wallow around in the dirt and the mud with these pigs. And yes, you're going to win the fight because you're a king slaughtering pigs. But you're going to lose the perception of you being royalty. Because now, look at your gown. Look at your royal robe and your crown. Look at your jewels covered with mud and filth and slime and feces. Because you were wallowing in a pig's pen, killing pigs that don't know the difference between a royal person and someone that looks, they treat everyone the same because they have no respect of person. They have no understanding or consciousness of who or what you are. So why even waste your time trying to influence them? And these decisions come about because you think that you're special. And you think you're special or unique because you think that you are alone. But if you look around and you really pay attention, you will see there are people who are in despair, people who are in pain, people who are in places of darkness, just like yourself. But they aren't letting it consume them. No, they're turning that darkness into light. And if they can't find the light, they're becoming the light. All that to say, remember to fellowship. Remember to reach out. Remember to be a mentor to people. Remember to be kind to people. That's why I always say at the end of my videos, be kind to one another. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what someone else is going through. You know, I'm not saying suck up. I'm not saying kiss anybody's butt. But just be kind. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be overly friendly. Just be kind. And remember, you are not alone. We are all facing some type of darkness. But the beautiful thing in that statement I just made is that we're facing it. We're not running from it. We're not submitting to it. We are not walking away. We're going to face this darkness and we're going to get through it. You are not alone. I am not alone. We are together and we will get through this. We will get through this darkness. We will see the other side and we will get those things in the universe that we deserve and that we want. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to one another. Keep me in your prayers. I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.